All right, so we're going to continue now with another point of today's lesson and today's tutorial, and that is to play pentatonic scales in a different way than we might have practiced before. Usually we practice scales across the neck like this, or vertically, if you want to call it like that. Today, we're going to talk about scales and bends and so forth going horizontally, meaning from the lowest possible note to the highest possible note. Okay? So what we're going to do is take that same A minor pentatonic scale and build it from an open E all the way up to the highest point on the guitar, which is a D. Unless you bend, then you can get up to an E, or if you really bend, you can get up to an F. But we won't do that today. Okay, so let's take that same idea. I'm going to play an A pentatonic from here to there. All right, let's do the same thing on the B string. Same scale, A pentatonic. Awesome. All right, let's take that idea and add some musicality sort of related to the blues on that. What we're going to do is work on our bends in this direction. Okay? Intonation with bends is something that's often overlooked, and particularly with the type of blues lines that we're going to be playing today, they're going to be semi-clean, all right? But there's going to be just a little bit of overdrive. So what was very important is your intonation is super important. And this is an exercise that I still use every day that I'm going to be playing blues type guitar to really kind of reinforce the intonation. All right? And I recommend using a tuner and checking your pitch as you practice these bends, okay? But I've also got a method that we're going to learn today that will really help you check your intonation on each bend. I'm going to kick in my slight overdrive, just a nice light overdrive, and we'll talk about that in a second. And I'm going to put in just a little bit of delay as well. And that, for a nice clean sound, I'm going to just play a little bit so you can get an idea of the sound that I like to get up for a light blues tone. All right, so you can hear a lot of the guitar tone. It's almost clean, really. It's sort of the tone that Robin Ford likes to get, or B.B. King. Nice little overdrive on the amp and so forth. Really makes you have to work a little harder on your left hand, and that's what we're going to work on right now. Okay, so we're going to do half-step bends this time, okay? Just half-step. Now, the reason why we use half-step, for instance, is it's impossible to bend up to this G in the key of A. This G right here, it's impossible to do a full step bend from F. It just ain't going to work. But we can move up to that G right down here from a half step. Right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to articulate that G, just play it, and then I'm going to bend up to it. So that checks my tuning. There we go. And I'm going to do that same thing here up on A. Half step bend. See how I check my tuning? I'm going to move up to, hey, let's go to B. It's not in the pentatonic scale so much, but the B is an awesome sound. Okay, going up to C. I'll just use the previous note. Okay, let's do that again. A,